Well, hello there. Oh gosh. Try that again. Well, hello there. Data adjusted. Make sure everything's happy here. I think it is. Okay, so we were working on status effects. Let me get this open. So we need to do. Ooh, that broke. Okay, we need to do marshalling to JSON. We have these. We can borrow this. I'm not sure if it's going to really gain us that much, but we'll do it anyway. This is going to be marshal a status effect to JSON data, no durations. So what we're going to do here is instead of this, we're going to do yeah, we're going to do this inside the quotes, please. We can keep that. That's fine. I'm doing this incorrectly because we need single quotes. Because we're in Dartland. Leave that like so. That. This is that. That. I'm just gonna copy this, put that in. Okay. Now that we have all of that, we'll clear that out. Now we need to create the status effect, and this is why we're using description, help text. Like so. This is not a walrus. I think we can do that as well. And then this is going to be a map that meow. We have them. The test cases here we expect you to be UUID. Like so. Not that. Just thinking if there's a way I could cheat here, but I don't think there is. I think I just do this. Use the correct one there. It's already a string. That's a string, that's a string. That should be that this we expect that to be false. That should be false. That's an int. It should be fine, I think. All right. Oops, that's not what. This one. Not an instance of string. Ah. I think this is a bug. I think I have done my Yes. That. Do I have to string these two? So it's spitting these out even if they're null? I was afraid of that. Just to be sure I'm not crazy, let's debug this really quick. And then our result. So it still has a key, it's just no. So this is a different package. There's a couple different ways it looks like. Oh, so I should be able to still, yeah. That. Yeah, that's fine. Get out of there. We're gonna restart. There we go. You know what I was trying yesterday? I think I was putting braces around it, like a sane person might. But you're allowed to do single line. Okay. So that solves that problem for us. What else could be? We actually probably want to do... I guess probably just want dot not equal 0 here. And I think this will cause this to fail. Does, because there's a null here. Which is good. I want that. I don't want it to include a 0 here. So we should say... Can we expect that? Get out of there. To be false. Yes, perfect. What other things? Let's see, stacks of other stacks stuff, but these have defaults. So property to modify ID. We're going to need durations here. So before we do all that, I need to pull open my actual data file here real quick. That'll make this easier. Objective modifier. This doesn't really matter, but let's just say that, and then that doesn't make any sense from a game's perspective, but this is perfectly fine for for our purposes. Now here, this is going to be broken, I think, because we no longer expect this to be null. We instead expect this to be the key. And we expect the string, single quotes, of 20s, right? The same with this. We're going to expect to see 30M. Because we need to put it in a string format. This is going to fail. Because it's not going to encode it correctly. Betcha. Okay, yes. We got that, which is not a string. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to encode it this way as opposed to the way we want it to be. So we're going to need to do our own stuff there. I think I could like make my own duration class and override some things. I don't know if I want to do that though. I don't know what I would inherit, right? I think I will not do that. And what I'll do instead is and I'm thinking, well, up here we only support hours, so we need to have not sure if we can final this or if this will count as reassigning or changing without, you know, like they almost certainly can't. We just need to do that because we're not allowed to reset it with a final. But we need to say if greater than 0 in hours, we need to write we don't need to do this just yet though. We need to do that. We add an H. Does that make me want to pull this? It does. It does make me want to pull these up and make them global to this package, I think. And Dart needs to have single quotes. I need to then... Ooh, can I do a change to a duration? Here's my duration docs. I thought I could change these. I don't think I can, though. Okay, that's gonna make things difficult. But... we can do this another way. Because... if I split on that, then I should be able to say if these just thinking we need to parse that back out as an int, though. Just thinking about if a negative makes any sense, and it doesn't, for a tick time or a duration. So if it's greater than 0, should be hours, minutes, seconds. Hours, minutes, seconds. We're going to come up in here. We're going to say... we do that. I don't need that. Okay. But here we do. And then Actually, here we do too. I lied. Because we need this followed by hour abbreviation, minute abbreviation. I need you in here. One too many of them. And then here. That, I think, is what I want. And then here in my 2JSON, my duration is not null. We call our new helper, and the same here with tick time. Because this is not allowed to be null. There. Oh, yes, we need to add milliseconds as well. So hours, minutes, seconds. Except I think we need to regex this because this should be milliseconds here, I believe. I guess we could find out. Actually, let's leave that as seconds and add 100 milliseconds to it. Yeah. Set. I have to do this another way, maybe. Where's my string representation of this duration? This is really annoying to work with. Because 100 is a lot different than 100,000. Somebody using duration and then remainder. Interesting. Can we do that? That would make this kind of slick. So what they're doing is, so it's a string. We have our in hours, and then we need our abbreviation. In minutes, remainder 60. Whole minutes spanned by this duration. Remainder the truncating division of this by other. Okay. Except... I'm not sure this works for... things where it's possible to have more than an hour. We'll try it. It's interesting. What are you called? Interbrief. Oh, I forgot a forgot on one of them. There we go. And then they did the same thing. Die fly. In seconds, remainder 60. Second abbreviation. In milliseconds. Remainder, and this I believe should be 1,000. Let's just see what that spits out. 0 hours, 0 minutes, 20 seconds, 100 milliseconds. I forgot my... But if I were to do, let's just say, that, what would it actually spit out? 2 hours, 0 minutes, 20... Oh, okay. Oh, because it's the remainder, not the... Okay, I understand now. It's not... So... we divide you by 60. It's 2 point, you know, whatever. We use the remainder only. Ah, that's very clever. Can I also do... Can I do this in here? No, I didn't think so. Okay, so we do need to break it up so that we don't have empties, because we don't want the empty spaces, right? So, we can still do that. Then our output is... the hours. If this is greater than 0, then we do the same thing. That's not the right character, that is. Minute to breathe. If in seconds, remainder 60 is greater than 0. We add our seconds. Lastly, we do our milliseconds. Except for this should be 100, not 60. Or sorry, 1,000. And then we spit out output. This will still fail because we haven't changed the conditions on the test just yet. But we did get... Did I forget hours? I did. Hour brave. We get 2 hours, 20 seconds, 100 milliseconds. Okay, perfect. Let's go back. Like so. And now, in theory, it should pass. It does. Okay. This, we want it to be private. This as well, while we're here. That was really annoying to have to do because I couldn't just, you know, have that sort of thing built in, but that's okay. All right, that is good. I don't think we can have a bad duration because either it's a duration that you've passed in or it's been unmarshaled, in which case we throw an exception. So I think we're good there. So that should take care of that. Let's do a quick commit. And add tests for marshalling status to JSON. Fix bugs revealed by testing. Now, we need to get this reading from a file. This was status effect. We'll just call you a controller. What will you need? I don't think you're going to need anything. Nothing at construction time. You will need... like a list of status effects, probably? For the view to use, right? The screen. This is going to be... This is going to be nullable. No. I just want an empty list for you. Is that? No. Forgetting my Dart syntax here. Ah, I've got it backwards. That's what's going on. There we go. So, that can be empty. We need this class to have a function. It's going to be void. It's going to then be called load, I guess. Load effects. That would be good. And it's going to need a file path. Like so. We're also going to need... What are you mad about? Oh, you want to be a lower cam. Okay. That's right. I guess we could do... We could tell the controller to have... a file path. You need to be not that, but in brackets. And file class, read and write rules. Oh, the internet blip there. Are we back? Looks like we're back. As I was saying, hello, that Dak dude. What's up? I think so too. OBS just dropped out and everything went off for a second, but could be hallucinating. I don't know, right? Is any of this real? Am I real? Okay, so we need to do... I was just looking at the doc here. We don't need that. You might want to stream... Probably not, though. Doesn't really say what it qualifies as a large file. But without the full object, it's sort of like we'd have to try to determine where the JSON object ended to stream effectively. So maybe we just start with read a string, and if it turns out we need to do something else, then we can. But this might have to be async. I'm not sure. Read a string, then and we do stuff in here. We need to import Dart.io. It makes sense. My alt key was stuck for a solid 15 minutes before I got the brilliant idea to grab my debit card and wedge it in there and pop it back up. I did that and it worked. Nice. Okay. Little problem solving. Excellent. Why is your alt key stuck? Much better than an all-metal screwdriver? Yeah. Okay. So we had to do... No clue. Gotcha. We had to do something here. I think we had to read it and then map across it. In the connection, new window, please. I want to look at what I did in connection. When we do unmarshalling here for like get characters. Yes, we say iterable list. Just lost it. Yeah, JSON decode message.content. So in this case, list of character info from, we map you into from JSON. So we need to do basically the same thing in here, I'm pretty sure. So we decode contents here. When you import that, is that right? That seems to be right. And then we say effects equals file data map. The parameter is effect data, let's just say arrow func you, and you are status effect from JSON effect data. Iterable status effect. Oh, because I did, okay. List status effect from this. So build the list of these from this map, put it in there. Okay. This is going to be tricky to test. Let's do the right, I think, first. So for this, we need to say, where's my right as string? Okay. So here we need to say but we need to encode this as a list. We need to say do I just need to like string them up? Or is there a convenience sort of thing? JSON encode. Ah, yes, I think we did that. Not dot. This should use the encoder we just made under the hood. That, if I'm not mistaken. And that might just be as simple as it is. So now we need to try to figure out a sane way to test this and make sure it's generating valid files and reading them. What if we... As part of the test, is there a setup? Does Dart have a setup, like a test main? Configuring tests. Skipping, I don't want to skip. I don't want timeouts. What tag? This is not. Group. Setup. There we go. Setup and teardown. Perfect. So, for our testy test here, let's just do Dart file. Create a new test file here. Wow. That was a impressive amount of wrong letters. And I should have setup. In this case, they have async them. Just lurking at the moment? Cool, yeah. Totally welcome. I love all my lurkers. Why have they done... Oh, because they're awaiting... Okay, I don't think that's mandatory. We do need to import our Flutter test, though. So in setup, what we need to do is create a test file. So let's do... This actually needs to be a list of... I think I need more... That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for these guys. Can I do that? Am I allowed? Oh, I guess you're just a list of maps, and we don't need... Except for you're still kind of mad. about that. That needs to be that. Why can't I? List. I'm just gonna try this and see what happens. I don't think I'm allowed to do it though, like this. These guys would need to be map string dynamic. If I'm not mistaken. It's very unhappy about that. Oh, because I don't need this in Dart. I just need to wrap you like that. Okay. Do I need to do this at all, or will you figure it out? Looks like you'll figure it out. Okay, perfect. By the time I get done, I'll actually know Dart. Okay. Make sure I can see everything over here. So for setup, we need another const here. This can just be that. Actually, I just want to just write a string, I think. Oh, I put this in the wrong spot. In here, please. Import the IO. I can't write you? Can I do that? Let's run this. So nothing should clean it up, so we should just get a file here that we can examine to make sure it looks correct. Unless it doesn't do anything. That's annoying. I don't actually want you to do anything. What's my syntax here? That. Import my tests again. There. Now will you run? Okay, perfect. But don't see my file. Do I need to do something to... We'll run before every test in a group or suite and tear down run after. I don't necessarily want that. Could wrap you in a group, I guess. Where's my... Right is string. Truncates the file could. That's what we want. But it's not... Is there like a equivalent to get working directory here? Directory.current. Okay, so where does Dart think you exist at? I'm not sure setup got run though. Nothing printed. For the heck of it, I'm gonna put that in there. That worked. And here we see our test effects. So I'm gonna actually, let's look at you first. Can I... There's a... I thought there was a format hotkey, but I can't remember. Control-Alt-L. There it is. Perfect. Okay. So that wrote out perfectly. So that's all working correctly. Now, I need to fix my setup because that did not work correctly. I also would love for this to be in here instead. That's fine. That's that. Must have closed the wrong one. I don't want it to run between every test, though. Well, this looks complicated. I mean, kind of. Not that bad. Just learning some Dart. Set up all. Okay, perfect. That's even better. Will it work though? Will it blend? Does not appear to have blended. But it should exist. What's it for? An editor for a mud game engine. File delete sync is what I want. Oh, I need a reference to my file if I do that. It's a future, so I need to await you, which means you have to be async. Do you need to be? Maybe not. Maybe we can get away with just that. Best of luck. Cool. Appreciate you. And we can check. So we can say if very submerged. Don't know what you mean. Test file dot exist sync. Then we do that. Okay. Meow. I'm not convinced that these setups are actually getting called here, though. I'm wondering maybe if it's just the fact that I'm not actually doing anything in this test. Let's just write a real test. Load status effects from file. Just write the test, and this is going to look very similar to this because we're using the same data. Just thinking. So it's a list of maps, so we should be good here. We should be able to grab this. So we'll do that really quick. But here we're going to do this. And we give you the test file path. Then we say load effects. And then here it won't be. We'll do this. This. Because it's a list, so it should be, order should be guaranteed. And then this would need to be that. And theoretically, this should pass if it's all working correctly. But it's not. Value range is empty 0. And I'm betting we run this, we still don't see our test file. Yeah, that's not being called for some reason. Let's see here. Oh, because I'm dumb. It's a function. It's not a constructor. Okay, it worked that time. It did set up. We have other issues, but that's okay. We should also be able to fix this guy in the same way. You're a function. This will get truncated, that's fine, and then it'll get wiped out. Boom. Okay, perfect. Now. And actually up here we could do... actually, we could do that. Okay, so it crashes before then. That's fine. That's why we have tests, so we can figure out what we're doing wrong. Up here... I thought we had this fixed. How do we like them apples? $49.59. Are we to modify ID? Ah. I see, because it's null, which it probably shouldn't be, but we need to handle correctly. So, we've identified a bug over here. Let's actually do the testing for this over here first. And we can do this. That's fine. Data null property to modify ID field. So this should reproduce that failure. And it does. Okay. What if I just remove this? Will that handle invalidation? No. What if we check that? And then this is expect contains key. Oh, we just expect you. No, because this is the object side. And we would need to do the same thing just to be safe up here. But UUID here. That's not what I want. I want to run the whole set. That's okay. We run this whole duder here. Perfect. Now we can come back over here. Over here, I mean. Okay, we have other chubs, but we're not erroring anymore. And I wonder if this is because this is a future. And then I await you. I don't remember if that's going to be allowed or not. No, it's still empty. Can do a debug though and see what's going on. Okay. Okay, so await this, async this. This is now a future void. And then I can await, I think. No? Oh, right, yeah. You have to be async then. Yes, perfect. Okay. Let's do a quick cleanup of our commits here. So we need to do git add screens, status effects. We're going to do the model. And status effect. Editor. Test. Status effect JSON test. Okay. This is a commit. Add test for null as or for property to modify ID field being null. Fix the bug. That And we'll do the rest of them as another add the load and save effects functions. This is also kind of just create status effect controller, add the load and save effects functions, add test for loading. There we go. We should also do we expect you also to have a length of 2. We're going to call you result 1. We're actually going to duplicate this whole block. Even though it's ugly, seems to be the best way to do this in Dart. Without doing a bunch of code that is only for testing. And then this is 1. I think we can clean this up though and make it nicer. Let's just run it, see if it passes. No, it does not. So I missed something. Null is not a subtype of string. Because number 2, property to modify ID, we expect to be null. Okay. Duration. Duration, no. Oh, right, yes. This should be... And that actually makes it so that I can't do what I was thinking about to kind of collapse this down, but that's fine. We expect tick time of 1. Perfect. We could break that up a little bit visually. Okay. Meow. Am I allowed perhaps compare file equality? Because we get a file reference. We can try it. I'm not sure I'm allowed to. But if we were to, let's say, let's commit this before we go do anything crazy. Span test to verify the second status effect in the test file. Let's also put this in. Let's do that. And then in here, let's do, instead of this, that. Ah. Crap. I would need to that. Is this even the right thing? Creates a directory object. Okay. And then here I can then do, right? Did the wrong thing. There we go. And then this I can do. Test directory. Is there like a path separator property? Platform.path separator. For you, your Dart.io. Oh, it's platform.path separator. That's what I did wrong. There. For our friends not on Linux. No such directory. Okay. What have I done wrong here? Ah, so it is await dot create. Mess that up too. There we go. Fix that. Okay, and now we need to do... Let's do this. That way we can reuse it more easily. Except for this is not compatible with const. It's fine, it doesn't matter. Test file path. And then path. I don't know that there's any reason to have that anymore then. There, perfect. And are you actually... You're not deleting. Okay. How about just delete? It's not correct. I think it's because this. I'm gonna do this. Just in case. I'm gonna manually delete this. It can go with the root. I'm not offended by that. And that isn't because we need this to also be recursive now. To say create the stuff I'm telling you. Test data. It's not deleting you though. Oh, because, okay. Because this is not correct. I need this instead. And then let's take this out. We'll just do test data. Which actually, we could get rid of recursive if we do that for here. Because it deleted the child folders, but not test data. And I could just go back and do test data. That's fine. But then I'd have to split out another variable. So let's just do that. It'll be simplest. This way we can continue to dump things into this file and just blindly clean up everything at the end of it. Everything we just created in that folder. And we're going to say modify test to use a different test directory that gets deleted at the end of the test. Okay. So meow. We need to write everything. So if we thinking about the easiest and cleanest way to do this. Actually, you know what? It's been 2 hours. So, I'm going to go make lunch, finish up things, and go to bed. I gotta work tomorrow. But if you like this kind of thing, I normally do this for about 2 hours a night, starting on Friday night, ending on Monday night. But tomorrow I won't be here because I have to run a bunch of errands after work. I'm going to try to get on in the middle of the week. If not, I'll see you guys all Friday. So, if you like this kind of thing, I'd love to see you then. I start at 8 p.m. Central. If that doesn't mean anything to you, you'll have to look it up. Twitch, you have a schedule. YouTube, they make it hard for me. But I'd love to see you again. Thanks for everybody who showed up and had great chats. And we'll catch you later.